It's every little kid's dream to ride on a fire truck.
You become very personal with these trucks and you consider them part of your family.
Sure, it's got enough cool gadgets and flashy lights to make anyone happy. But you'd have to look long and hard to find another vehicle with as noble a history.
It's 9:30 in the morning, the alarm has just gone off, and this place has literally leapt into action. You're on your way to an emergency, every second counts. And how smoothly that goes depends largely on the fire truck. This is one ride where I'm happy to let the professionals do the driving.
Whether racing to a fire, a car accident, or a medical emergency, the fire truck is a lifesaver. But navigating city streets with one of these babies can feel like threading a needle with a hunk of rope.
No, next one.
Red lights, heavy traffic, pedestrians, the driver's always got to be prepared to deal with unexpected hazards. Of course, with a truck this big and loud, people tend to get out of the way pretty quick.
Watching one of these things whiz by from the side of the road is one thing. Being on board is a completely different story. You can just feel the power of this truck, and everything just seems, wow, so fast, especially facing backwards. I'm surprised by the handling of them. For such a big truck, it handles quite well, which is, I guess, due in part to the driver's skill. But the power of these things is immense. This is an impressive truck. It's an impressive price. $750,000 for this aerial truck. I guess it's a bargain when it comes to buying a lifesaver with a reading light. What are you guys looking at on the way here? Gentleman's Quarterly?
GQ.
GQ?
Yeah, Sports Illustrated.
Did you get this, the idea for this outfit, this apparel out of GQ, or is this?
It comes with capri pants.
This has got capri pants, that's nice.
It's not just being big and loud and strong that makes them so impressive. The main reason we like fire trucks? They fight fires. Fire trucks come in all shapes and sizes, but the most common are the pumper tankers and the aerials. When you need help, these are the trucks you want. Hooking up to hydrants, drawing water from lakes, extending ladders up 6 stories for heart-stopping high-rise rescues, they do it all. For the firefighters who work them and the public whose lives depend on them, the design of the fire truck is the secret to its success.
A fire truck is a life-saving tool. It's designed to save lives. It'll do it every day over its life cycle. If you put the wrong materials or specify the wrong grade of alloys in a certain body, it won't be coming out of that fire. I have a very passionate relationship with the fire trucks because when you design these fire trucks from the ground up, every nut, bolt, screw, washer, and the placement of everything, so that it's user-friendly on the fire ground, you become very personal with these trucks and you consider them part of your family. I like to go to bed at night knowing that when the call comes in, this truck will do its job flawlessly. That's very important to me. Could be the difference between life and death. We're going to take you upstairs to the birthing room. This is where fire trucks are born. So where the ideas are put together. These are handwritten notes and inputs from firefighters telling me what they want the truck to do. A lot of things that they ask for cannot be engineered into the truck because you still have to follow good engineering practices. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's going to happen. If it can't be done safely and it can't be done properly, it's just not going to happen. And things like bulletproof glass, we're not there in Hamilton yet. Hopefully we'll never be there, but sometimes they implement or they ask for things like that. And the ideas for the truck start something very simple as a hand sketch.
It's immense, page after page listing every nut and every bolt. The fire truck is first designed on paper and only later put to the real test. But regardless of the caution they use in designing them, the builders can't possibly imagine everything these trucks will have to face once they're built and put onto the front line.
We refer to these three trucks as the Three Sisters. These trucks were delivered in Hamilton in 1997, and the very first fire that they went to was the worst plastics fire the city of Hamilton ever had.
On July 11th, 1997, the city of Hamilton, Ontario declared a state of emergency and evacuated hundreds of people as the Plastomet plant burned for 5 straight days. It was one of the worst fires ever experienced in the city, and the plume of smoke could be seen for miles. The cloud of smoke that engulfed the firefighters and the trucks was so toxic that the harsh effects are still being felt today.
These are pictures of the truck after the fire. And as you can see the discoloration of paint. This is showing the front of a radiator, how the gases went after the copper, started to eat the copper alive. This radiator ended up falling out of the truck. This is showing chemical burning at the back of the truck. The corrosive gases got behind virtually everything on the truck, starting to eat it from the inside out. And that flesh-eating disease we couldn't stop. 7 paint jobs later, you can see that Plastomet is still taking its toll on this truck. So if we repaired this section right now, in 6 months it'll look the same. It is getting thinner and thinner, and it can't be stopped. I can peel that away like paper. Now, this is just proof if you put the quality in, you'll get the longevity out, and this kind of damage won't result.
Getting the water onto the fire as quickly as possible is the pumper tanker's main job, and the pump operator makes sure that those hose lines keep the water flowing.
As a pump operator, we're the lifeline for the firefighters. Basically, there are 3 steps to engage the truck into PTO, our power takeoff, using the power of the truck to pump, to run our pump. From the neutral position, pull up your pneumatic lever into the pump position. You'll see that a green light goes on telling you that the PTO is engaging. Press the transmission into drive. Second green light should go on. Revs of the truck, as you can hear, start to pump up. We're ready to pump. Come in and hook up your high vol. We're ready for water.
Now, how do these trucks jam out so much pressure and I can't get my butt wet in my own shower? Well, it's all because of something called the impeller water pump. When water enters the truck, it hits the inner part of the impeller, which is powered by the drive shaft. The truck is kept in gear, but instead of the engine driving the wheels, it drives the pump. Water pressure is created by the centrifugal force from the spinning action of the impeller. A valve opens to allow water to hit the center of the rotating impeller, and voila, your bum is wet.
If you pressurize these hoses at maximum pressure, what they want you at, you find that they're very rigid. You're not very mobile. You can't move around. Some guys will let you know, okay, bring the pressure down. We've got to move the hose upstairs. It's too stiff. And you require more air, more energy, and you're not being as efficient as you can be because you're fighting the hose rather than actually fighting the fire.
So this is a powerful instrument, the fire hose. In fact, in order for this nozzle to work properly, there has to be at least 700 kilopascals of pressure at the nozzle. I have no idea what that means, but I think it means that there's a lot of pressure.
You've got to know your system. You've got to know your truck. It's important to be confident in what's going on. It's not the time to second guess. Efficiency is everything. People's lives depend on it, not just the people you're trying to save or the buildings, but the guys on the end of the hose lines as well.
So we're gonna just open it back here, just carefully a bit, okay? So far, so good. Feeling good. That's, maybe I have a future in this thing. It seems, okay, it's not as easy as it looks, actually. It's like a angry man sort of falling on the end of this hose, just trying to drag you backwards.
As kids, everyone dreamed of riding on fire trucks, hanging onto the side of one as it raced screaming to a fire! Over the decades, the look of that dream has changed with each new fire engine design. Fire trucks are always changing. Some say no two are the same, and each truck is built with special needs in mind.
Innovations like this aerial ladder have given modern-day firefighters new advantages. They don't have to be right in the flame, right in the fire with the embers and the smoke. Have a little bit of distance. They can go up outside a building to extract survivors from a fire instead of having to claw their way up through the building or place land ladders up against the outside of it. The fire truck has come a long way in the last few years.
This particular unit, it's a multifunctioning truck. What it is, it's called a quint because it does 5 things. It has an aerial ladder, it has a major pump, a water pump, ground ladders, and fire hose. So it encompasses 5. And what we're doing here is we're simulating a dynamic load, a moving load, where this ladder could be operated on the fire ground to bring 2 firefighters and a third party from the roof of a building. This is structurally very, very difficult to do for an aerial ladder. If it's going to fail, we want it to fail here. It's allowed to bend a certain amount. If it bends any more than that, the ladder fails. We have to ensure that the structural integrity of the ladder is sound, the welds are secure, and the ladder can support and move the load it was designed to do.
Okay, let's go. Teach me the ladders.
So here we are at the turntable panel.
Wicka, wicka, wicka.
Yes. You see, it's just fairly simple.
Oh, there it goes.
And from here, you can extend the fly.
How far will this one go up?
7th or 8th floor
Wow.
of a high-rise type of thing. You want to give her a shot there?
Really?
Sure, go ahead.
Swing it around.
Yeah, you always have to keep an eye on the tip. There's lots of overhead wires and trees and all kinds of obstacles.
Hey, how come that won't retract anymore?
Oh yeah, when you get to a certain point, you have the retract override switch there. You just flick that up and further.
All right.
And we're gonna have some water coming out of there in a second.
Oh, there it is.
We opened up the outlet.
Okay, so right is left is this one, right? There we go.
You could probably soak a few people if
I'm
you
sure I
really
could.
wanted to. Okay, Jeff, how'd you like to put this to practical use?
I would love to.
Well, let's go find a fire.
Right on.
Oh,
How did you do that?
bring it over to the left
All right.
so that we can, you see the wind's blowing a bit to the, so we might actually go past the fire to have.
That fire's hot even from here. More?
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good.
Okay, oh, I let it go a little too fast.
We'd have guys signaling us whereabouts would be the best
How's that?
location. That's pretty good.
I've never seen one like this. All my years of experience.
Looking at history, we often see that progress is inspired by major events, and the evolution of the fire truck is no exception. There are still questions about how it started, but on April 19th, 1904, the Great Fire raged through downtown Toronto. Destroying most of the downtown city core, this fire wiped out 104 buildings. Hours after it started, every fireman in the city was at the site. Firefighters from Hamilton and Buffalo were rushed in on special express trains. Miraculously, no one died, but the damage caused by the fire was estimated to be $10 million. And that's in 1904, when $10 million actually bought you a detached house.
Fighting the battle of the Great Toronto Fire in the downtown core were steam engines, which were very heavy, up to 3 tons. Chemical engines, which were thought to be the modern technology of the day. A mixing of acid and basically soda water would produce a stream that would go about 25 feet in the air. And however, the fire proved them very inadequate at the time.
Horses provided much of the brute force for hauling these apparati around. But there were drawbacks. Due to the intense heat of the Great Fire, all the horses had to be evacuated from the scene, or else they became glue. Now that the city was aware of the type of disaster it could face, changes had to be implemented. As the technology evolved and vehicles became sturdier and the hoses became heavier, horses just couldn't carry the load.
When they did get rid of the fire horses, they never forgot where they came from. They were sold to milk delivery people, but every time a fire alarm would go off in the city, it seemed there'd be a large stream of milk bottles all the way to a fire, because the fire horses would still think they were fire horses and respond to the fire with a milk cart behind them.
Let's start popping.
What we are is a group of volunteers. We respond to major fire incidents and provide support for the firefighters when they come out of the burning building to cool them down and give them some refreshment.
The Box 43 Association of Hamilton is an organization with a noble purpose. Not only do its members help firefighters during long and dangerous calls, but they have sworn to uphold Hamilton's firefighting history.
This is a 1926 Bickle Aaron's Fox pumper. So this is the intake ports. Well, this would be hooked up for soft suction, say out of a pond or a lake or something. Open cab, we are completely open to the element, even in the middle of winter. When this is actually pumping, the front wheels are almost rocking off the ground. The whole thing goes up and down. Our Box 43 name comes from the alarm bell in the older times, which was rang to signal the volunteers that there was a fire in the city, and they would come to the central fire hall and get on their trucks and go to the fire.
Nowadays, there are other ways of being a fire engine enthusiast than driving around on an antique truck. Although that's pretty darn cool. Images of your favorite firefighting vehicles can now be shared across the world thanks to people like John Hanley, fire truck chaser.
The website I run is TorontoFirePics.com. It has almost 1,000 pictures of Toronto Fire Department trucks, all the stations. Just recently turned 20 years old. I have a big hobby of chasing fire trucks and getting shots of the guys, the trucks, fire scenes, anything to do with Toronto Fire. I never thought it would be this big. It's probably the best thing I've ever done. You know, I know so many people in the fire department now because of this. I wanted to be a firefighter for a long time. Hopefully I'll get in one day. It's very competitive to get in, and I'm still way too young. I think the average hiring age is 27, so it's gonna be a few years yet.
Scanner in hand, John spends his time driving around, waiting for the right call to come in.
I've been taking pictures of the trucks right from being a little kid. Every little kid's obsessed with fire trucks, you know, and just never really wore off with me.
When the alarm goes off, John makes his way to the response and takes the opportunity to grab a few shots.
I think one of the reasons people respect these trucks so much is the guys on these trucks are saving lives.
For some people, a fire truck is a thing of beauty. But there is nothing beautiful about a fire that threatens buildings and jeopardizes the people in them. A fire starts with only a small flame and some smoke. As it grows, the smoke and the flame heat a layer of gas that becomes hotter, radiating more and more heat to absolutely everything in the room until it reaches its ignition point. And then boom, the flashover. A small fire becomes a big fire within 3 minutes of ignition. And firefighters are trained to recognize the telltale signs of flashover. If they aren't within 5 feet of an exit at the time one occurs, they won't survive. Now, the average person doesn't know to recognize these signs, so their survival depends on how quickly the firefighters can get to them. Nice and warm.
Toronto Fire Services.
This is where it all begins, the dispatch center.
Okay. Queen and Bathurst. Black smoke from 4th floor.
If you spot a fire and dial 911, your information is transferred here, where operators decide on how to send out the call.
32, pumper 315, car 33. Respond for high-rise residential fire.
When the calls do come in, the first thing we hear is the printer is activated, and that will give us the address of where we're going and any pertinent information that we need. We also hear through the speakers in this room and throughout the entire hall, we hear a voice communication giving us the same information that is on this printout. I hit this button and we're on our way to the call. Everybody in our hall should know where we're going. The drivers in particular must be totally aware of any obstructions, one-way streets that may make it difficult for us to get there. But we do drill, we study the streets by using our map books, also by driving around and being aware of anything that has changed in the district.
You have to have safety as your number one priority, because if you can't get to the call, you're not going to be able to help anyone out anyway, right? Or you're going to hurt someone on the way to the call. You still have to obey the stop signs and the red lights, because if we just went right through the intersection, it'll be a big mess. Sometimes people just stop, in the middle of the intersection, but they're actually blocking your route. So you'll, wave them through, just to make sure they can, get out of the way safely and you can get by them. You get a call, you get there in 3 to 4 minutes, even during rush hour. It'll take you an hour to get back. Because, of course, you're not speeding and going against traffic.
All right, Jeff. We have the truck and pump gear.
Okay.
So we're just going to increase the pressure here.
Okay. Nice.
Prime it. We want to grab the nozzle off the top there. We're going to pull the line off.
All right.
Once you pull the line all the way off, we'll hook it up to the pump panel here.
Okay.
And then we'll put the pressure back up to while it'll be flowing.
Is it going to throw me around?
No. We won't put it that high.
This just seems like it could end in tears. Here we go, ready?
Okay, so go in and start opening up the line.
Okay. There we
If
go.
it's too much, make it wider or shut it down a little bit.
All right.
Take the pressure off.
Now, where am I aiming?
Everywhere you see flames. So you can
Okay.
just broad sweep underneath the vehicle.
All right. I think I borrow this to do a bit of watering in my lawn.
So this might tear the heck out of your lawn.
Yeah. You guys ever just spray each other with these things just as a prank?
Well, no, because it's dangerous. That's our official stance on it.
Fire engines. Rich in tradition, they carry real heroes every day to life and death situations. Sure, we know them as life-saving vehicles, but the real question is, how do they keep those trucks so damn neat?
Now we come to the glorious part
Good
of the
effort.
job.
Oh, what's that?
You can clean up all this hose.
Hang on. John. There's a lot of hoses here.
Yeah, take your time.
How do I even know if I'm doing this right? Okay. Ha-ha. Oh, look, this one's like 2 miles long. You guys could get shorter hoses. Paul, come move the truck. The hose is under the truck. Come on. What kind of way is this to treat a friend? Okay, well, I'm not getting the nozzle, John. You get the nozzle. This isn't how a team's supposed to work, John!